Ask any experienced long-haul driver what the worst part of the job is. Not the hours, not the weather, not the traffic or the deadlines or the weeks away from home. Ask them what genuinely wears them down after years on the road. Most of them will pause, and then they will say the same thing. Finding somewhere to sleep, not the sleeping itself. The finding, the circling, the watching the clock tick toward the end of your legal driving hours while every lot you pass is already full. The settling for something you know is going to be loud and unsafe and broken because it is the only option left. That is what truck stop life actually feels like from the inside. From the outside, a truck stop looks like the answer to every problem a driver has. Hot food, hot showers, fuel that never runs out, stores stocked with everything. It looks like a small city built specifically for truckers, the one place on the road designed entirely around their needs. And that is exactly what makes it so frustrating, because here is what most people never see. By the time most people are leaving work for the day, 3 or 4 in the afternoon, thousands of truck drivers across America have already stopped driving completely, not because they are tired, not because something went wrong, because if they wait any longer, there will be nowhere left to park. Now, here is the number that explains why. During peak hours, as many as 5 trucks compete for a single open parking space at major truck stops across America. Federal transportation studies have been documenting this exact problem for more than 20 years. 5 trucks, 1 space. So experienced drivers stop early, not out of laziness, out of exhaustion with a system that forces this choice every single day. They plan their entire route backward, deciding where they want to sleep first and building the day around it, because a driver who waits until he is actually tired to start looking for parking is a driver who ends up on an exit ramp and pull into any major truck stop around 4 in the afternoon, and you will see exactly what that pressure looks like. Trucks lined up along the entrance, engines idling, every legal spot taken, drivers circling slowly, just in case someone pulls out, some giving up and driving to the next stop, hoping it has room. Sometimes it does not either. Eventually someone gets lucky, finds a space, backs in, and then the real problem begins. Picture that driver now. He found a spot at 2:30, backed in cleanly, climbed into the bunk, pulled the curtain closed. 10 hours before he can legally drive again, he closes his eyes, and then he hears it. Not traffic, he is used to that. This is something else entirely. All around him, refrigerated trailers are running their engines to keep the cargo inside at temperature. Dozens of them humming at a constant low frequency that sits just loud enough to prevent deep sleep without being loud enough to identify as any single specific sound. It is the sound of the lot working, and it never stops. Then the arrivals start. Midnight, a truck pulls in 2 spots over. Air brakes hiss. Engine idles for 10 minutes. He drifts off. 1 in the morning, headlights sweep through his curtains as a driver backs a 50-foot trailer into the space beside him. 2 in the morning, doors slam somewhere across the lot. 3 in the morning, an engine starts. Someone leaving early. The rumble shaking the cab for a full minute before disappearing into the dark. He checks his phone. 4 hours until he can drive. And this is the moment, lying there in the dark, too tired to be awake, too disrupted to sleep, counting down hours he cannot get back, that the hate sets in. Not a dramatic hate, not anger, just the quiet, grinding frustration of someone who has been through this exact night 100 times and knows with complete certainty that tomorrow night will be exactly the same. This is not a bad night. This is every night. Drivers who have spent years on the road describe it the same way. Truck stop sleep is not sleep. It is rest in pieces, drifting off, waking up, drifting off again, night after night, year after year, behind the wheel of an 80,000-pound vehicle the next morning. But the noise is not even the part that stays with drivers the longest. It is 2:30 in the morning now, and he is finally drifting off when he hears something that does not belong. Not a truck arriving, not air brakes, something closer near the trailer. He lies completely still and listens. A truck stop parking lot is open to anyone, no gate, no ID check, no security guard walking the lot at 2 in the morning, just a dark, crowded parking area full of trucks, full of cargo, and full of strangers that nobody has checked in anyway. And cargo theft in the United States runs at approximately $35 billion every year. The most common location where it happens is not a warehouse or a distribution center. It is an unsecured parking lot, exactly like this one. A thief does not need to break a lock. A sharp tool and a few seconds is sometimes enough to slit the side of a trailer and take what is inside while the driver sleeps 30 feet away. Fuel gets siphoned from the tank. And that knock on the cab door at 2 in the morning, the kind that happens more often than anyone outside the industry would ever guess, is never something a driver lying in the dark can completely ignore. So he lies there, listening, waiting for the sound to either explain itself or get closer. Most of the time it is nothing, but most of the time is not always. And after enough years of most of the time, the tension never fully goes away. It just becomes part of the night, part of why experienced drivers sleep with one part of their brain always half awake. Not because they are paranoid, but because the lot they are sleeping in has given them every reason to be. Now, here is the scale of the problem behind all of this. 313,000 designated truck parking spaces in the United States, 3.5 million licensed commercial drivers on the road. That gap has been studied, documented, and reported on by federal transportation officials for more than 20 years. And the conclusion has not changed once. There are simply not enough places for drivers to legally stop. So they look for alternatives. Rest areas fill up by early evening. Some states limit how long a truck can stay, forcing a half-asleep driver back onto the highway in the middle of the night just to avoid a fine. Walmart lots used to be the backup. Today, the number still allowing overnight parking has dropped sharply and keeps falling. Noise complaints, city ordinances, one bad experience ending years of goodwill overnight. And when everything runs out, drivers end up on highway shoulders, on exit ramps, on the edge of industrial roads in the dark, hoping nobody notices until morning. Not safe, not comfortable, not legal. But ask any driver and they will give you the same answer every time. A ticket is still better than driving past your legal hours on 4 hours of broken sleep, searching for a space that does not exist. So why do they keep going back? Because a truck stop, for all of its noise and risk and overcrowding, is still better than the alternative. A hot shower after 12 hours behind the wheel, a real meal, fuel, Wi-Fi strong enough to call home, and other drivers, people doing the exact same job, carrying the exact same frustration, understanding things that almost nobody else does. For some drivers, a truck stop is the only place all day where they talk to another human being face to face. And that matters more than most people will ever realize. It is not a good option, but on most nights, it is the least bad one available. Now, here is the part that connects all of this back to your life. That package that did not arrive on time, that shelf that was empty on a Tuesday morning when it should have been stocked. Somewhere in that chain was a driver who spent 2 hours searching for a legal parking space the night before, who finally pulled onto an exit ramp at midnight because there was nowhere else to go, who got 4 hours of broken sleep next to a refrigerated trailer humming all night, and who was back behind the wheel at 6 in the morning to make the delivery window your order was built around. The parking shortage is not a trucking problem. It is a supply chain problem, and the supply chain is yours. Tonight, while most people are falling asleep in quiet bedrooms, thousands of truck drivers will spend hours just searching for somewhere legal to stop. And even when they find it, sleep is never guaranteed. No fence, no silence, no real privacy, just an idling engine, a thin metal door, and a parking lot that never really sleeps. If you are a truck driver, what is the worst truck stop experience you have ever had? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if you have never driven a truck in your life, Did you know any of this before watching? Leave it below. This is Road Logic. Subscribe. There is a lot more where this came from.